Facts do not exist or cease to exist because they're simply ignored. Our lives improve only when we take chances, and the first and most difficult risk we can take is to be honest with ourselves. If you're going to become more successful, and you're going to have to get denial out of your system and face the fact that your life isn't working how you'd like it to be. Do not defend or ignore how toxic your work environment is. Do not make excuses about how bad your marriage is. Are you in denial about your lack of energy, or your excess weight, or your health, or your level of physical fitness? I've been consistently downward trend for the last 3 months. Are you putting off confronting an employee who is not delivering an acceptable standard of performance? As successful people face their circumstances squarely, heed the warning signs, and take the appropriate action, no matter how uncomfortable or challenging it might be. Remember the yellow alerts in here. Remember the equation, right? Event plus reaction equals outcome. And the yellow alerts, we spoke about way in the beginning. Yellow alerts are all those little signals that you get something isn't not right. Your teen comes home late from school again. Strange notices show up in the company mail. A friend or neighbour makes an old comment. Sometimes you choose to acknowledge these alerts and actually take action. But more often than not, we simply choose to ignore them and pretend not to notice something's amiss. Why? Because to face what's not working in your life usually means you're going to have to do something pretty uncomfortable. But let me believe, if you're uncomfortable, fantastic. It means you're growing in some sort of way. You've never done something before. That's why you're uncomfortable. You might have to exercise more self-discipline, confront someone, risk not being liked, and ask for what you want. Demand respect instead of settling for abusive relationship, or maybe even quit your job as a result. But because you don't want to do these uncomfortable things, you'll often defend tolerating a situation that doesn't actually work. Let's take a look at what denial looks like. Though the bad situations in life can be uncomfortable and embarrassing and painful, we often live with them, and worse, we hide them behind myths, widely accepting views and platitudes. We don't even realize that we're actually in denial. We use phrases such like these. It's just what guys do. You can't control teenagers these days. He's just venting his frustrations. It's got nothing to do with me. It's none of my business. It's not my place to say. I don't want to rock the boat. There's nothing I can do about it. Look, don't wash your dirty linen in public. Credit card debt is like, well, this is normal. I'll get fired if I say anything. Mum's church friends check on her, so I don't need to. Luckily, it's only marijuana. It could be worse. Well, she's just that age. I need these to help me relax. I have to work these long hours to get ahead. We just have to wait it out. I'm sure he's going to pay it all back. That's what denial looks like. These are common phrases. Let you understand, I've used them as well. Occasionally, we'll even make up reasons why something or someone is not working for us, not realizing that if we just acknowledge the bad situation sooner, it would be often less painful or resolved. It would be cheaper, and the circumstances might be more beneficial. The problems will be easier to solve. We could even be more honest with everyone concerned. We'd feel better about ourselves, and we'd certainly have more integrity, but we'd have to get out of our past denial. Successful people, on the other hand, are more committed to finding out how things go wrong and fixing them than they are defending their own position and maintaining their ignorance. In business, they look like the hard truth and real numbers rather than recalculating numbers to look good to stockholders. Let me believe you. In PLC reporting, that often harms. The numbers are rejigged to make them look good for stockholders. They want to know why someone didn't use their product or service, why the ad campaign didn't work, or why the expenditures are unusually high. They are rational and in touch with reality. They're willing to look at what it is and deal with it rather than hide and deny it. That's how a successful business person moves ahead. They take it head on. They don't skimp and they don't go round it. Doing more of what doesn't work won't make it any easier, remember. So know the gambler, Kenny Rogers. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. This is the key here. A big part of getting out of denial is to good at recognizing a bad situation and deciding to do actually something about it. It always amazes me how difficult recognition and decision is for most people, when it comes to alcoholism, for example, and drug addiction. With many addicts, their marriages fail, their businesses fail, they lose their house, they even end up in Skid Row before they realise that their addiction is not working for them. Fortunately, most of our problems are less severe than drug addiction, but this doesn't make the recognition or the decision any easier in the process. Take your job, for instance. If you're in denial about what you'd really like to do or to be doing, worse yet, do you constantly talk about how happy or fulfilled you are when you're actually not? Are you living a lie? I'm amazed sometimes when you see how people talk about their lives and how brilliant it is and how successful it is. And I'm thinking to myself, who are you trying to convince? It's just a wee afterthought. Workaholics are a perfect example of this kind of denial. A high-pressured schedule can't possibly work long-term for anyone, remember. But most people that are workaholics will defend it with the comments like, I'm making great money. This is how I support my family. It's how I get ahead. I have to do this to compete in at the office. As we've explored already, defending and justifying a bad situation is just really another form of denial. So what is denial based on? Often denial and it is based on the notion that something even worse will happen if we stop doing it, and denial and take corrective action as a result. In other words, we're afraid of the truth. Many therapists can tell you that in spite of their overwhelming clues, their spouse and having an affair, many patients won't confront their spouse over it as a result. They simply don't want to face the fact that their marriage might actually be over. They don't want to deal with emotional stress and the physical inconvenience of the divorce. They don't want to deal with the financial upheaval or the possibility they might have to move or actually get another job. So what are the sum of situations that you're afraid of to deal with? Your teenager smoking or doing drugs, a supervisor who leaves early but dumps his late projects on you, a business partner who doesn't do his fair share of work and spends too much time and too much money elsewhere, your house payment or your expenses are unmanageable, your aging parents who now need full-time care, your health, which will become a problem because your poor diet or lack of exercise, a spouse who is never home, withdrawn, disrespectful, or super critical, not enough free time of yourself or your children. Though many of the situations above that we've just discussed require drastic changes in how you live, work, and relate to others, remember that the solution to these problems isn't always to quit your job. It isn't always to get a divorce, to fire the employee, or ground your teenager. It may be more productive to choose a less of the extreme alternatives, such as discussion with your boss, a marriage counselling, setting boundaries for your teens and your siblings, scaling back your expenditures, or seeking competent professional help. Of course, less drastic solutions still require you to face your fears and actually take action. But you have to face what isn't working right now first. The good news is that the more you face uncomfortable situations, the better it will get for you. But when you face just one thing that isn't working, the next time you have the slightest inkling, you're more likely to take action immediately the next time as a result, just because you've done it the first time. And the sooner you take action, the easier it is to clean it up. Remember the old saying, a stitch in time saves 9. It is actually true. So take action now. Take the time out right now to make a list of what isn't working in your life. Start with the 7 major areas where you would normally set your goals: financial, career or business, free time or family time, health or appearance, relationships, personal growth, and making a difference in your community. Ask your friends, family, employees, co-workers, class, group, coach or team that they believe what isn't working for you. Ask what's not working. How can I improve? What requests can I make? What do I need to do for me? What do I need to do? What action steps do I need to take to get each situation to work the way I'd like them to work? Do you need to talk to someone? Call a repair person? Ask someone for help? Learn a new skill, find a new resource? Call an expert? Make a plan to fix it? So choose one action that you can take and then do it right now. Then keep taking the other actions and another action until you get the situation resolved. And I'll see you